this is Judy Sleed. The name of my show is The Plays the Thing. So nice of you to tune in. I have Steven Spataro as my guest. And my goodness gracious, here's the pile of surprises. All of showbiz is here. And where shall we start? At the top or the bottom?
Any section that you'd like. Well, I brought some. These are all original 27 by 41 inch posters. That was the standard poster size when they would advertise a new film. And these were called press books or exhibitors' campaigns. So what they would do with these is they would issue them to show theater exhibitors how to sell the film. And they would provide information about the film. And this one here, this is for a movie made in 1977 for American International Pictures. This was The Island of Dr. Moreau with Burt Lancaster, Barbara Carrera, Michael York, and Nigel Davenport. And they list in here the cast and the credits and information about the film, the scope, how long it runs. And then here you could see this is the publicity portion of how about the actors, about other roles. This is going into
and this, they hand these out at the theater?
Well, these were given to exhibitors like theater owners, like by the studio, to show them ways of, like, here was an interesting one, a Barbara Carrera look-alike contest, just to build up promotion. This advertises how they had a giant color stand-up poster of the movie, and they had, here's a paperback novelization of The Island of Dr. Moreau. And
did we say what the name of the movie was?
Oh, The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, The Island of Dr. Moreau is some sort of a science fiction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a science fiction film based on the novel. And this version, this was made in 1977. It would be made again later on with Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer. And that would get very mixed reviews. This picture was, I wouldn't say, like, it didn't cost a fortune by today's budget, but this was, American International was a studio that was known for making, like, lower budgeted, small films, pictures like the original Little Shop of Horrors with Jack Nicholson, and Attack of the Puppet People. And in the 60s, they made a lot of, like, the biker genre, and then they did the beach genre with Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello. And when they came around to the 1970s, they started to make more quality pictures at the studio, and this was very...
So this would, like, go to, like, the limited audience, people who like action and whatever.
Yeah, this would be marketed to... This was, at the time, was rated PG, so this would be, like, marketed to preteens and to adults, people that were fans of Burt Lancaster and Michael York. It also, Richard Basehart was in this movie too, in a supporting role. But as you could see here, it was originally rated PG in 1977.
Okay, my eye is going to this big poster.
The big poster?
Here.
This is
and it is, you don't see these things anymore.
No, not
Look
really.
At that. And who is that gorgeous behind Sherlock?
That is Genevieve Genevieve. She played the love interest in this film. Robert Stevens was the Sherlock Holmes in here with Colin Blakely as Dr. Watson.
You could see that I was only interested. I mean, I saw her, but Sherlock is really very evident. You could see him there. So you know this is a detective story.
Well, this particular film tried to delve into the psyche of Sherlock Holmes. This was a Billy Wilder movie, who is known for making pictures like Some Like It Hot, and 1, 2, 3, and The Fortune Cookie. Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau worked with Billy Wilder quite often. But this was a comedy drama, and it had Christopher Lee as Mycroft Holmes appears in this film, playing Sherlock Holmes' brother. But Robert Stevens, he was a very good Sherlock Holmes in here, and he sadly was knighted Sir 6 months before he passed away in 1995. But this is now considered. It's now considered a classic motion picture. You could catch it on Turner Classic quite often, and I believe they have it on DVD in some Sherlock Holmes sets. But
so how do we put this away? We fold it
oh,
up,
these were all the posters that were like pre-90s era. They didn't roll, these folded. So this poster folded up. You could see this one here unfortunately had a little water stain in there.
Oh, this
one,
looks...
Now this...
Lock up your...
This is for a film called Lock Up Your Daughters, which was with...
Lock Up Your Daughters.
This was with Christopher Plummer and Tom Bell, and it had Roy Dotrice in it, Georgia Brown.
Somehow Christopher Plummer comes into your email all the time. You always have some news about
Oh yeah, because I follow his news feed of what movies he has. This picture was from 50 years ago, and as you can see, the review is quite funny. More gropings, seducings, and plunging necklines than Tom Jones, and that review was written in Playboy in 1969. This was kind of, this was based on a play, a Broadway show, both started in England first, Lock Up Your Daughters, but this was trying to, I guess, cash in on the Tom Jones popularity at the time. Tom Jones with Albert Finney, very popular, like bawdy type story based on the Henry Fielding novel. And this movie tried to take that a little bit further, because this picture was made when the rating system came out, and that's why you see the nice little R right down there at the bottom. But an interesting note is this movie also stars Elaine Taylor, who is Christopher Plummer's wife. He met her on this picture. And I didn't know that until, I guess, probably about 10, 12 years ago. I happened to meet Christopher Plummer at a book signing and a screening in the city, and I mentioned this movie, and he thanked me for mentioning it and said, "That's where I met my wife, Elaine Taylor." And I said, "It's a funny time passer of a movie." This one is this is for a Western, made probably toward the end of the Western's popularity, but this was with George Peppard and
Cannon for
Cordoba. This was about a gold cannon, a very valuable gold cannon, and it's a good action Western film. It's a co-production. It's an Italian co-production, and as you could see, Ralph Vallone is in there, and Peter Duell, who later on was on Alias Smith and Jones, the TV show on ABC. And this film Interestingly, it has a GP rating, which meant general audiences but parental guidance is suggested. And this was later changed in 1972 to PG. This was released in 1970.
So I imagine some people would be very, very interested in these posters. Some of them could be valuable.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I started collecting movie posters probably about 25 years. So this one is for
Hardly when you were a baby. You
Well,
started.
I was pushing, like, I was in my early 20s. So this one's for a Western film called Bad Company, which starred Jeff Bridges and Barry Brown, and also David Huddleston is in this film. And it's what they call a revisionist Western. It was directed by Robert Benton, and it's a very well done film. But this is an exhibitor's campaign. As you can see, here's advertising, and this is publicity. So you have all these articles about, Bad Company star Jeff Bridges is riding the crest of success. Bad Company's hero, Barry Brown, is a part-time philosopher and actor. Paramount Pictures presents Bad Company opening at your local theater. So this one was from 1972, and this is other advertisements of...
And this you could purchase. You used to purchase like at a newsstand.
Sometimes when they had roadshow productions, when they did road shows, they would sell these as souvenir booklets at a film screening. This is a Paramount Press book and merchandise manual, so this would technically be for the motion picture distributor.
And where did you find this? Where did you store these? That's the question.
I have these. These are stored in a nice, cool, dry place. Many of these I bought over the years at various places like eBay and other websites where they sell memorabilia.
Yes, but in your home, did you have it? Did you just open up your closet and everything just fell out?
No. They're folded in drawers. They're in different drawers.
So you have it stored in a very safe and nice place.
And we also have quite a number of these other ones on the wall in our place, and a lot of them. I have a lot of signed stuff up there.
That's very good, because like most people, they would just stick it someplace and even forget about. I'm just talking about myself. I just opened up a whole shelf, and all the things that came out. Oh my gosh! I didn't know I have this.
That's always fun when you find something. It's like getting it new again. Wow,
Yes.
I sometimes, when I go through some of these, I go, oh wow, I never knew I had that poster, because I bought some of these posters in auctions that were in lots. So I got more than one poster in there, and some of them were like a lot of 30, it said a lot of 30s, 70s/80s posters. And I'd get this lot, and I'd be like, oh yeah, this is a great movie, and this is an excellent one. But a number of them, 27 by 41 inch takes up a lot of space on the wall. But I do have some of the smaller 11 by 14 lobby cards hanging up, which are a lobby card. This is a lobby card right here.
Card.
This is a 22 by 28 size lobby card for Unman, Wittering, and Zigo, which is a very good mystery film with David Hemmings. He's a professor in this film. And it's very intense because there's a question about one of the students. Does he actually exist? Because he's always absent from class. So this is a good film. You could probably find it now on Amazon, but these are all the reviews from Judith Christ from the New York Magazine.
Oh, I remember her name.
Absolutely stunning film, a top-notch thriller. The Daily News, a taut suspense drama will keep you guessing. Q Magazine, taut, terrifying,
Q Magazine.
and riveting movie. So I mean, this is a good one. And David Hemmings was an actor that I always thought was very good. I collected a lot of his.
If anybody would want to read one of these magazines, where would they go?
Well, to own one of these, they could probably find them listed for sale on eBay. And maybe some places like Etsy might even have some of them listed. But these are actually, in certain places like the Library of Congress, does have some of these on hand for certain movies. UCLA in California has a very large film archive, and they would have some original press books in there and exhibitors' campaigns. And in some cases, people have actually scanned these and put them on the internet in a PDF, and you can actually read it on there.
Now this is so big.
This is another large 27 by 41. The interesting thing about this one, this was a Warner Brothers picture which starred Wayne Newton in, I believe this was his first starring role. He would be in other films in smaller parts, but this was his first big starring role for him, playing a small-time guy who was on the run, and he stumbles on a home for children who are handicapped, and he ends up helping them, and liking being a helpful person and working with the kids. But in the meantime, the police are still looking for him, and the other bad guy is still looking for him. And the other guy is played by Sal Mineo, who's coming off of the James Dean films. And also Keenan Wynn is in this film. So it's a interesting 60s piece. Actually, interesting thing also is, to this day, this film has never been released on video or DVD. So, but it is out there. It does turn up on TV. You probably can find it on YouTube.
We're going to have to find a suggestion box.
Yeah.
And
on the back,
maybe you could put one in your library. Maybe you could get this film and show it at the East Hampton Library. Did we say who you were to the viewers, that you work at the library, East Hampton Library, where you are with the adult reference books?
Reference, yep. Also ordered the movies and put together
And you have different programs at the library.
We sure do, yep. Concerts. We just had Gene Casey and Caroline Doctorow did a show in early December.
I missed that.
And we had Tommy Sullivan, who was one of the founding members of the music group, the Brooklyn Bridge. He was in that group with Johnny Maestro, who's now, Johnny Maestro's passed away, but he was in that group with Johnny Maestro. And we had Tommy Sullivan play in November. So we keep the shows going, and the book discussions and computer
and
classes.
who is this gorgeous couple?
This is Peter Finch and Glenda Jackson. This was a film about Lord Nelson and his relationship with Lady Emma Hamilton.
And up until now, it was a big secret.
Yeah. Well, this was based on a play by Terence Rattigan called Bequest to the Nation. The play is also available as The Nelson Affair, but this was Hal Wallace did this for Universal. It was one of his last pictures, the last one being...
The Nelson Affair.
Yeah. Dominic Guard and Nigel Stock are also in this, and Margaret Leighton plays Lord Nelson's wife in the film, and knows that he's having an affair with Emma Hamilton, who is Glenda Jackson, who's still excellent actress today. She was recently in a play on Broadway, in a Shakespeare production. She was playing King Lear, so it was a limited
Serious
run.
stuff.
I missed it. I wanted to see that
Yeah.
show. But Peter Finch, he was really a great actor, but he passed away over 40 years ago.
Wow. So you were working at the East Hampton Library, and how far is that from home? Like, where you from?
20 minutes from
Where you from?
Southampton.
Were you born?
Oh, where I was born? I was actually born in Hauppauge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's not too far.
I was born in Hauppauge, and I grew up in Centereach. Centereach, on the border of Centereach and Stony Brook, and
So you're
That was
familiar with the neighborhood.
yeah.
And then you went to, did you ever leave, like to go to school, or?
No, I went to, all the schools I went to were in New York. I went to Stony Brook for BA, for English, and St. John's for library, which is in Queens. So we pretty much stayed, stationary in New York.
And where did you meet your beautiful wife?
At a library meeting. Yeah.
She also is a librarian.
Yeah, it was like over 10 years ago now. So
You met her 10 years ago.
yeah.
And she does a beautiful dance with the
Oh,
fan.
Yeah, she does.
I love the way she handles that
She
fan.
does flamenco, and she teaches ballet at Hampton Theater Ballet School in Bridgehampton. But she also gives flamenco lessons too, and does the flamenco with the fan and the castanets, and is like very, very well versed on the castanets. And the pair that she has is from Cartagena, Spain. It was picked up actually at a trip to Cartagena. So they're real Spanish castanets. And I'm trying to. She's very eager to do a performance at the library, but I'm trying to work out how to get how to do the setup on that one with the staging. But I'm hoping to have that come to fruition by the spring of 2020. If you can believe it's 2020 already in a few weeks. But time goes on, and we keep having events, and I'll, as long as there's still material out there, I'll still find it. These are just some more press books out there, and this one, this is an interesting one here. I know we have a couple minutes left. This was from a Michael Douglas film called Adam at 6 a.m., a very early Michael Douglas movie when he was on the streets of San Francisco with Carl Malden.
Oh, yes.
And This here is just this is a book called To Be Continued, 1930s and 40s serial era posters. So you have all these serials, how they were advertised, like Flash Gordon and Superman, and you have Bulldog Drummond, and you also have serials like there was John Wayne had one, Three Musketeers. There were Johnny Weissmuller.
You could find all this at the library.
Well, we could
look at
actually
them.
we could find if we don't have a particular item, we can find it in the catalog system.
Because people who see this, they would say, hey, this is cool, I'd like to know more about it. So if they want to go to the library, then ask for Steve Spataro, and he will tell you all about it in this very beautiful, newly renovated library in East Hampton.
Mhm.
And just when you go there, you will just become a fan again, a book of fans. And you could just go there and lose yourself. And it's a very pleasant atmosphere.
There's always something going on. In season, off season, the library's always loaded with books, films. Our International Film Festival is starting next month, so we have 6 very good films selected for that. And those are going to be Sunday afternoons at 2 p.m.
And we are out of time.